What's going on, guys? This is Mr. DeLorean here on today's brand new video. Today what I want to do is break down the teaser slash trailer we got for The Walking Dead Season 11, Episode 9, and Season 11B. Now these teaser trailer bits and everything do come from a video that The Walking Dead did post on their channel, basically like, some really cool behind the scenes stuff and everything, and how they did most of the stuff during the pandemic for The Walking Dead Season 11. And it's all really cool, like, behind the scenes interviews and like, stuffs and videos and everything, which I will make sure to link the full thing down below, since it is really cool stuff to see if you are like a true, or not really true, but a really big Walking Dead fan. You want to see like all the stuff behind the scenes and everything. But that, along with this teaser trailer and everything, will be linked down below and everything. But without further ado, let's hop right into this teaser trailer for The Walking Dead Season 11, Episode 9, and Season 11B. Now, when the trailer begins, we get to see Maggie on the ground and everything, kind of like, most likely after Negan's pushed her to the ground and also went running out like, away from himself, or running away himself or anything. Because obviously in Episode 8 and everything, when the big cliffhanger left us off on, like, in Season 11, Episode 8, basically Leah and a bunch of the other Reapers lit the Hwacha and everything, which is this big thing full of fiery dynamite arrows and everything that was ready to fire at Negan and Maggie and Gabriel and all of them. So I'm assuming this is Maggie on the ground and everything after Negan pushed her to the ground and started running the other way and everything to save himself, but also kind of save Maggie also by getting her out of the way of like these horrific arrows. We're also going to see Maggie and everything running through a bunch of the walkers and everything, trying to get away as the Hwacha is firing those like fiery dynamite arrows and everything, which does obviously mean that Maggie, Negan, or at least Maggie so far and everything, will get away from the Hwacha's like, bullets or like, arrows, which obviously at the end of the day we all knew she was going to get away from them. So it's just like, but it's very cool to see that Episode 9 will be picking up where we left off from Episode 8, anything with basically the Hwacha ready to fire and practically firing at Maggie and Negan or anything in Episode 8. And basically this will be a retreat situation or anything, because obviously they won't be able to finish off the rest of the Reapers, like Leah, that one like, Reaper that Daryl hates, and a bunch of the other ones that are still left alive. Although I personally don't think there's much left alive to really like, wage a war against our group, since like I said, like in other previous videos, it's practically 5 Reapers against like 20 of our Alexandrians. Yet again, the Reapers are pretty supplied with food and everything, while our Alexandrians are not really that supplied with food. So as you can see, the odds are not in the Reapers' favor, but like, being stocked up on food and energy and everything is probably definitely in the Reapers' favor against Alexandria. We get to see Daryl and everything as he's looking over at most likely maybe the Reapers, based on shots that we'll be seeing like, later in the teaser trailer. He basically says over the walkie-talkie saying, "Hey, where are you? We need to talk." We're then going to see Negan and Maggie and everything in this kind of really weird looking gray, dark, and like, very scary corridor or building and everything, obviously hiding from something. Negan obviously has blood all over his face and everything, probably from killing some walkers or maybe even people. And Maggie's looking at him, and Negan probably don't make any noises and like probably really scared also, because yeah, like I said before, they're most likely hiding from either Reapers or walkers, since obviously they were very close to both and everything in Episode 8 and everything, and most likely will be with Episode 9. Later on we get to see Maggie facing off against a Reaper, which she seemed to be doing a lot and everything, this whole like, battle against the Reapers in Meridian. And in this scene here, it does look like we have Negan, maybe. It does look like there's someone like, next to her with a Whisperers mask on, or that's definitely not a walker. So I'm heavily assuming this is like, Maggie and Negan and everything as they're trying to escape like, the Hwacha and the Reapers and everything and just run away. And I'm assuming some like, Reapers are gonna try to go after Maggie and everything and fight her and kill her and everything, along with like, the rest of the people like, Negan and Gabriel. Because I think off in the distance right here, we do see Gabriel fighting some walkers. And obviously like, when we last did see Gabriel, he was up in this like building and everything trying to kill like, the Reapers and everything and defend Maggie. And when I did first see this shot right here, I did honestly think that this was like, the fight scene when Maggie was having with that other Reaper, and then Gabriel shot the Reaper saving her. But that is clearly not the case, and that this is like, them all on the ground running and everything from the Hwacha and the Reapers and all the walkers and everything, and trying to get out fighting and alive. We're going to see like, a shot of Aaron and everything, and I'm assuming this is kind of after the storm and like after the whole scenario that happened in Alexandria in Episode 8 and everything, with the whole like, hurricane-esque storm, like a huge storm. And what's weird enough and everything is he does look very tired and everything, and very worn out, obviously, like, after that like, horrific night. And I'm not gonna lie, his hair does look kind of wet, at least in my opinion, which does play later into the trailer. We're also gonna see a shot of Gabriel and everything. I can't tell this is at Alexandria, which I do heavily think it is, because obviously they are gonna make it back there eventually, as we did see Daryl and Gabriel and all of them being escaped from Meridian and everything, and the Reapers to like, make a fire and like, hang out and everything, then eventually make it back to Alexandria. So I can only assume that this is Gabriel back at Alexandria. We then get to see Gracie and Judith and everything back down in the cellar during like, the huge storm as they're like, downstairs and being flooded, which obviously in the last episode left a lot of fans scared, like, what will happen, because obviously we deep down know Judith is not going to die, but obviously Gracie could possibly. Yet again, don't think they would do it, but obviously Judith has a lot more plot armor than Gracie in my opinion. But obviously they're trapped down there and everything with it flooding really quickly. We do get to see, I think, Gracie or Judith get a walker kill, which would be really cool to see Gracie get a walker kill, since obviously, like, Judith has gotten plenty of walker and even human kills and everything, but obviously, like, Gracie hasn't been able to get any, like, walker kills yet. And to see her finally put Judith's, like, training it to practice and everything and take out a walker would be really cool. We next get to see Maggie running down a hallway, which I'm not sure if this is the same building that her and Negan were, like, earlier in the trailer, since we weren't able to see what shirt she was wearing or what the color of the shirt that she was wearing and everything in that building. But now it does seem that she's in a red shirt in, like, what looks to be a very different shirt than the one she was wearing around Meridian. Correct me if I'm wrong. So this could be a new day, a new location, or anything different from the whole Meridian War situation. But she is running and screaming away from someone, which I do wonder who it is. I'm assuming it's a Reaper, since obviously, like, a Walker, it's just kind of standard. She'll probably just kill it. So it might be a Reaper or somebody else and everything, but it's definitely someone coming to kill her, and that she's very scared running off from. But also another theory is that she looks very cleaned up, kind of, and everything, and like, with the red shirt and everything, the clean red shirt and the clean pants. Those could be at the Commonwealth, since in earlier trailers for season 11B, we did get to see Commonwealth soldiers breaching this, like, really old building, which honestly could be a building that, like, the Reapers, Commonwealth, Maggie, and Negan all lead each other to and everything to take out the Reapers finally. Although I'm not 100% sure if that's, like, what will happen yet. Actually, now that I think about it, going back to the Judith and, like, Gracie shot that I did think of, I think this is actually Lydia taking out a Walker, now that I think about it, because the shot, like, went by really quick. But I think this is definitely Lydia taking out a Walker, which it does look day outside and everything, so I'm assuming this is, like, the day after when they're cleaning up Walkers. Although I do think Judith and Gracie did see a Walker, so it's not off the table for Gracie to get her first Walker kill or for Judith to kill a Walker down there. We're gonna see a bunch of Walkers coming into a room, which I do heavily assume that this is, like, this guy that'd be Alexandria, with a bunch of Walkers coming into houses and everything, or them trying to take out the rest of the Walkers that might have gotten trapped in some houses. Or this could be that, like, whole building that, like, Maggie and Negan were being held up and everything, possibly with the Commonwealth and Reapers, but maybe just by themselves. And I'm assuming that this is them trying to, like, evade getting, like, bitten or, like, captured or even, like, hurt by the Walkers in general. Next we get to see Carol, Aaron, and a bunch of other Alexandrians running around, like, Alexandria, which is obviously clearly smoking and fire and everything from the events of, like, season 11 episode 8, when I think the windmill caught on fire due to, like, a strike of lightning and everything, which basically with now it, like, smoking, I do wonder if this is them all, like, running to the windmill to save it or anything, or if maybe if the fire's already put out, maybe this is them running to the front gates of Alexandria and everything to meet the Commonwealth. Because obviously in previous season 11 trailers and promotional materials, we did get to see the Commonwealth coming out to the gates of Alexandria and, like, Jerry warning everyone, saying somebody's coming. And actually, now that I think about it, back to that original season 11B trailer, I think Maggie was wearing a red shirt on the walls of Alexandria. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'll make sure to probably get a screenshot to see if that is, like, the case, anything on screen. But like I said, that might further the theory that Maggie, Negan, and, like, the Commonwealth might go into a building to take out the remainder of the Reapers. I don't know, maybe. We do get to go down inside the, like, basement of Alexandria, I think, where Gracie and, like, Judith are trapped. We do get to see Judith, I think, take out a Walker, which will be really cool. And I think, yet again, I really hope Gracie gets to get a kill and shine and everything, use Judith's training and finally get her first Walker kill, which would be really cool. Also, I'm getting a lot of, like, season 5 vibes from this, like, whole, like, basement flooded situation, all the way back when, like, Rick and, like, Aaron and Gabriel and, like, Michonne and, like, I think Bob were exploring a basement or anything to collect some food that Gabriel, like, gave, like, a hit to. So now that I think about it, I wonder if this is gonna point back to that and somebody could get bitten down there, maybe Gracie or maybe someone else. We think it's a shot of Gabriel and everything. This is from sneak peek released for season 11 episode 9 or season 11B in general, where basically Gabriel faced off against that, like, Reaper that I did see in episode 8 when, like, he was, like, kneeling down in a grave, basically the priest or Father Gabriel of the Reapers. And basically, like, the Reaper was saying that he knew Gabriel was there and everything in episode 8, that, like, watching him, and basically that, like, he prays for the Reapers. And Gabriel basically gets very confrontational where he's like, you pray for these murdering psychopaths who kill children, women, and even people in general without remorse. And I'm assuming there's gonna be a big fight scene between those two guys and everything. Obviously, Gabriel's gonna win the fight since he's gonna, like, be back in Alexandria and everything and all of that. Unless this fight does happen after he gets, like, like a home to Alexandria. We think to see a fight scene in that building that Maggie and Negan were in and everything. And this is Negan facing off against what I do believe is that Reaper that Daryl's been having, like, a lot of, like, headbutts with. So this does does confirm, like, the theory that, like, Negan and Maggie and the Reapers will collide in this building and everything, which yet again, I'm not sure if this is the exact same building that the Commonwealth are breaching and clearing into, although that would be really cool and everything, since obviously it would also mean that Maggie and Negan especially get to meet the Commonwealth, which would be really cool, because those are two characters I've been waiting for a really long time to finally meet the Commonwealth. But also in this shot, when it does turn to a different angle, I think we do get to see Elijah, like, and I think Maggie behind Elijah coming at this guy and everything. And in episode, I think it was 8 or 7, or it might have been 6, Maggie did say, or Elijah did say to Maggie and everything, like, when they were saying that they're gonna take down the Reapers and all that, basically Elijah did say to, like, Maggie and everything, saying, but the one Reaper, he is mine, which I'm assuming is for possibly killing his sister or some other situation. But with Elijah being the one to come to this Reaper and Negan holding this, like, Reaper in a chokehold, I'm assuming this right here is the Reaper that Elijah wants and everything. I did think it was the Pope in the beginning, since it makes sense that, like, Elijah wants the leader, but obviously Leah already took out, like, the Pope and everything, the leader of the Reaper, so I'm assuming this is the, like, the Reaper that Elijah wants to kill. Next we get what I do believe is Daryl standing in front of Leah and a couple of other Reapers in, like, what looks to be a different town than, like, Meridian. And obviously Daryl does say, what's the point of all this killing and everything, and, like, living in harmony. I did forget the piece of dialogue that I did say, but basically Leah did say whatever it takes and everything, which obviously means Leah's not gonna let down, most likely meaning she and the rest of the Reapers are gonna eventually die in season 11, which I'm all for and everything. Man, she has tried to kill her characters way too much. She's tried to kill Daryl way too much. She clearly does not love him. Daryl, move on to Connie or Carol, for the love of God. I know it's gonna, like, really bother a bunch of, like, Daryl and Leah fans, but man, she's tried to kill him so many times and I think it's practically betrayed him so many times. But I'm assuming this is the meeting that Daryl was talking about on the walkie-talkie, where it's like, oh, we need to talk, let's meet. And I do wonder what's going to go down in this meeting, since obviously the Reapers do know that Daryl was the one to take out the Pope, so I wonder how this situation is going to go down, if it's going to be just a calm meeting like the Governor and Rick had in season 3, or is this going to be possibly like an ambush, or, like, a not so positive meeting. We're going to see another shot of Judith and Gracie down below inside the basement or anything, basically walkers, I'm assuming, trying to get inside the basement or anything, or possibly some others in another compartment inside the basement. We get another shot of Maggie in what I do believe is her season 11 episode 8 attire and everything, after she, like, Negan went into Meridian and everything with all of that and the whole Walker and Whisper situation with the Reapers. So I can assume this takes place, like, pretty shortly after the whole, like, Meridian battle, so most likely in episode 9. Now next is what I did say and mention, like, we might get a season 5 moment or anything where, like, like when Bob went down into the water and everything was bitten by a walker, because we do get to see what maybe I do believe is Aaron. I'm not 100% sure. It's very hard to tell who this is and everything, since it's in a fairly dark room, but I do believe this could be possibly Aaron and everything, like, fighting off a walker down below in the basement, maybe trying to save Gracie and, like, Judith. Now do I believe he'll be bit, or whoever this person is will be bit? If it's not Aaron, they most likely might be bit. But if it is Aaron, I doubt he'll be bitten or anything. It'll just be like, like a whole scrudgel they're having against each other as he tries, or this person does try to save, like, Gracie and Judith down below in the basement. But that's only, like, a whole theory. And the last and final few shots of the trailer, we do basically get, like, Jerry, like, yelling behind him, most likely to the people of Alexandria. Like I said, most likely why Carol, Aaron, and a bunch of other people are running to the gates, or, like, most likely to the gates of Alexandria, because Jerry screams behind him or anything, hey, something is coming, which is most likely him, like, or is pretty much confirmed to be him yelling to everyone about, like, the Commonwealth coming to the gates. And we get a shot of the Commonwealth and everything approaching the gates of Alexandria, which is just gonna be fucking awesome. And in this scene is most likely gonna be Maggie, like, running towards the gates and everything and hopping up on the gates to see the Commonwealth, like, coming up to the gates and entering through Alexandria, like we did see in previous, like, season 11 me trailers. And honestly, man, I really cannot wait for, like, the Commonwealth to finally get into Alexandria and meet a bunch of other, like, other characters that they have not met yet. And man, I'm just really excited for what this trailer showed off for, like, season 11 being or anything, which is basically a lot of our characters basically finishing off the Reapers, meeting the Commonwealth, and the Commonwealth coming to Alexandria, and maybe Elijah getting some vengeance and everything after, like, Maggie and Negan fight off some Reapers and everything on the one Reaper that he really wants to kill. And then wonder what will go on with Daryl and, like, Leah meeting again and everything after, like, she practically sold him out to the, like, Reapers and saying, like, he was the one who killed the Pope. And also seeing what's gonna most likely take place in episode 9 after, like the Hwacha goes off or anything and everyone running in separate directions and trying to like, you know, save each other or save themselves and just in general get the fuck out alive. But yeah, that was my breakdown for The Walking Dead Season 11, Episode 9, aka Season 11B trailer. Like I said, I'll make sure to link this full video down below in the descriptions, which I do highly recommend you go check it out and everything, since obviously, like, you know, it's a very cool behind the scenes look of, like, you know, Season 11B and Season 11 general, which is just some really cool shit if you do, like, you know, film, TV, and like all that type of stuff and everything, and cameras, and just seeing the behind the scenes stuff of all your favorite shows, or more so The Walking Dead in general. And I'll make sure to link this teaser trailer down below and everything, since it is really cool, and I do highly recommend it, like, you know, go watching it. But yeah, that's all for today. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more latest in the Walking Dead universe and more content, breakdowns, explaining videos, theory videos, review stuff like this. Make sure to comment down below what you guys are most excited for to see and everything in Season 11B and Episode 9 in general. And yeah, see you guys later, my amigos, and peace out.